Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to this today's video lesson. Let me introduce. This is P. Krishnamurthy, lecturer in English, working at Government Degree College for Women, WANAPARTHY. You know pretty well that we have been talking about proverb expansion in the process of enhancing human values topic. In the previous class, we had the benefit of knowing the importance of time and tide wait for no one. In today's class, I so sincerely and very passionately would like to share all my views with you all about the importance of these two proverbs, which are very popular in the society. The pen is mightier than sword, practice makes perfect. You know pretty well that, so we have been talking about the value orientation. So under the heading of value orientation, certain proverbs and quotations are being discussed. And we try to know how these proverbs are going to enhance the human values in the human minds. How the students are going to improve their human values, how their values are going to be improved. So in the process of enhancing the human values, these topics have been included by the learned scholars, the syllabus framers, I could say like that. And this topic has been prescribed to the UG first year students. The syllabus has been cleverly, skillfully, and beautifully designed by the learned scholars of the university. And in that process of enhancing the beauty of that, so value orientation, certain proverbs are being discussed. So the topics for today, the proverbs for today, so or the pen is mightier than sword, practice makes perfect. Let us study one by one. First, let us talk about the proverb. The pen is mightier than sword. You know, sword. What do you understand by sword? So, the sword of Tipu Sultan, the sword of Jhansi Rani, like that, sword. The pen is mightier than sword. The pen of William Shakespeare, the pen of John Milton, the pen of Samuel Johnson, the pen of Swami Vivekananda, the pen of famous writers. In what way do you find the difference between these two things? And would like to know which is powerful, whether the pen is powerful or the sword is powerful. In today's class, we love to know which has got influence and impact on the people in the society. So in the introduction part, I would like to talk to you. The pen is mightier than sword is a proverb that speaks about the power of writing. That speaks about the power of writing. Whatever you have in your mind, what kind of ideas that you have in your mind, what kind of enchanting thoughts that you have in your mind, you need to express those things orally or in written. As a speaker, when you express, the people who listen to your speeches, they enjoy themselves like anything if your talk happens to be the most useful and informative. But some people are good at speaking, but some are good at writing, especially the writers, scholars, scientists, and some of the prominent members in the society. They just write in the form of books. They present books to the society. Books are our lovely friends. Books are really considered the wealth of the society. So the pen is mightier than sword. It speaks about the power of writing. So when you read a piece of literature, when you read a paragraph, when you read any prose lesson, when you read creative writing, when you read uh, a sentence which has got pregnant with meaning, when you read a beautiful poem, you feel you are elated. You feel that you are taken to a different land. A thing of beauty is joy forever. Coward dies many times before the death, but the valiant dies once. All the world is a stage and all men and women are merely players. They have their own exits and entrance. A friend in need is a friend indeed. A little learning is dangerous to life. Like that, You can make hell of heaven and heaven of hell. There is nothing either good or bad in this universe. Your thinking makes it so. Slow and steady wins the race. All these are all the proverbs. All these are all the quotations written by learned scholars, written by prominent, renowned writers of the world. By reading the writings written by the great people, we become powerful. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar became a popular and powerful social activist. He became a great philosopher. He became a scholar. How did he gain that kind of scholarship? Just by reading a lot of writings. Lot of writings. By developing a lot of thinking in those musings. So the pen is mightier than sword. It speaks about the power of writing. How the pen is powerful. A pen can mold the minds of the people. A writing can change the mindset of the people. A piece of literature that can change crores of the people at a time. When you think about the sword, a sword can kill one by one. It can kill 100 members, 1,000 members, but it cannot create anything at all. It is being used only for the destruction purpose, only for the killing purpose, only for some negative purpose only. But whereas pen, when you take a pen, when you begin to write on a piece of paper, you are going to create some novels, some literary books. They created history in the world. They created history in the world by that kind of the matter that is there in those books. That's why pen is always mightier than sword. A pen can achieve a lot more than a sword does. A pen can achieve a lot more than a sword does. A sword may do a work, but that work is limited. It is confined to certain things only. But whereas when you come to pen, it creates, it molds, it modifies, it transforms, it informs. So like that, people's minds are going to be changed with pen. Pen can do a wonderful job. The signature of a king that can change the fate of the people of that country. If 1,000 slaves are imprisoned, with a single stroke of the signature, the single stroke of the king, he can liberate all the slaves who are in the prison. The single signature, the signature is done with the help of the pen. So the pen has got so much of power. with the stroke of single signature. All 1,000, 10,000 lakhs of the slaves are going to be liberated. But is it going to be done by sword? When you see sword, it can kill the people, but it doesn't have any power to liberate the people. It can liberate only limited members. When you are in chains, somebody comes and liberates you by fighting against all the enemies and liberates you. Okay. But the work of the sword is limited and confined to only little things. But whereas the pen has got mighty power. That's why it is mightier than sword. The king can rule only his kingdom, but a scholar can rule the world with his writings. A king can rule only his kingdom, but a scholar can rule the world with his writings. Remember, my dear friends, a king is a king only in his kingdom. He is applauded, he is praised by all the people living in that kingdom only. But do you feel the scholar is applauded by all the members across the world? And who is powerful? Is the king powerful? Is the scholar powerful? A scholar changes the world. A scholar is going to be the beginning for the next generation. A king's powers are limited to that country. No doubt, I dare say that king can rule his kingdom. He can rule his own kingdom only. But where the scholar can rule the world with his writings. Have you seen William Shakespeare? I have not seen William Shakespeare. He belongs to 16th century. Even today, majority of the people in the society, majority of the educated people are being influenced by the writings of William Shakespeare. When you read his dramas, maybe Julius Caesar in first year, you would try to understand how a speech has to be done, has to be given. How can you speak? What are the ways of communication? How can you become a great communicator like Mark Antony? How can you convince mobs in the society with your way of presentation? When you listen to the speech of Mark Antony and Brutus, we better understand how communication has got a lot of impact on the people. No doubt, neither you nor me didn't see William Shakespeare, but we really derive a lot of pleasure. We really pursue a lot of knowledge from his writings. When you read the drama of Hamlet, when you read drama of Othello, when you read the drama of Romeo and Juliet, the characters created by William Shakespeare, they're all round characters. They are there in the society. So we feel that we are being molded by the writings of great scholars like William Shakespeare. You see this one? Yeah. That's why king can rule only his kingdom. But whereas a scholar or a writer can rule the world with his writings. In that way, we say that the pen is mightier than sword. A sword is a symbol of destruction. You know pretty well. When sword is there, sword is the symbol of destruction. But pen is a symbol of creation. In the symbol of new world, the symbol of hope, symbol of optimism, symbol of new life. A sword, after all, it is a symbol of destruction. It's a symbol of negativism. It's a symbol of regressness. Like that. So, the introduction part of this Proverb, the pen is mightier than sword. This is all about that. We'll go further. Meaning and explanation. The pen is mightier than sword. The pen appears small in size. Yeah. Dear friends, the pen appears small in its size, but will exercise influence on the minds of the people. It's not the size that is important. It is the matter that matters, the matters of the position. It's not the size. When you look at that pen, so in size it's very small, but it creates a history. It creates a new horizons. It is going to begin new history. It is going to begin new light to the next generation. The pen has got this power. Sword achieves military success, but it will not last forever. With sword, one can achieve military success. So, the great emperor, Ashoka, he was a great ruler. He went on, conquering all the kingdoms. He expanded his kingdom like anything. Ashoka the Great, with his sword, he got military success. Later in his part of life, he realized it is not the sword that can be the permanent in the minds of the people. The victory that I achieved is not a matter at all. It's not an important thing. It is just a symbol of military success. It has nothing at all. So he transformed himself and started new life. He went on teaching. So Ahimsa Siddhant, the principle of Ahimsa. And for that, people remember for his ideas, for his later convictions, for his later thoughts. Ashoka the Great, as far as military success is concerned, but Ashoka becomes the Great because of his later transformation. So ideas are very important. Ideas that you are going to say, ideas you are going to write. So sword achieves military success. It will not last forever. The influence of pen is slower. When you compare the influence or the impact of these two things, so the influence of pen is slower, but its impact will be longer and permanent. The impact of the pen is longer and permanent. That's all. The sword can do a lot of things, but the impact and the influence of the pen, it's longer. It's longer like anything. When you read a story which tells the charity of Karna, you are going to be influenced by the character Karna. Oh, Karna, the great man who has got charity like anything. His charity is immeasurable. When you listen, when you read the character of Karna, you develop that value orientation. You develop that humane, great exemplary quality of charity. You realize the importance of charity. Charity that begins at home. Charity that begins at home. You can't gain it, but that has to be generated from your heart. When charity gets generated from your heart, nothing stops your charity. So when you think about that charity, that human value, that moral value, that ethical value, that great value of charity, you are turning into a great human being. So when you read the greater writings which diverse the importance of human values, and you become humane. So The influence of pen is slower, but its impact will be longer and permanent. For example, the writings of P.B. Shelley, the writings of William Wordsworth, writings of John Keats, writings of W.B. Yeats, writings of all so great people, all these things, all the great writers, right, starting from Chaucer to the modern century. All the writings were written by the writers. The influence is slower, but it's longer and permanent. The values that we learn from the books, they are permanent. So many civil revolutions happen in the world with the constant influence of writing. For your kind information, many civil revolutions took place in the past, being influenced by the writings of the great scholars, great poets, great members in the society. So when you want to influence the people, the best way is to write and influence them. The best way is to speak to them and influence them. These are the very, very dynamic activities to influence the minds of the people permanently. You cannot do this kind of influence on the minds of the people. You cannot kill 10 members and influence 90 members. You feel that you are winning the hearts of 90 members by killing 10 members. It's all stupid idea. People think that by killing 10 members, you think that you create fear among all 90 members. Majority of the people might develop fear by witnessing your cruel murder. But at least some people are there. They are getting ready to create protest against you, to develop protest against you, to protest against your atrocities. And that was happened during the Second World War. Adolf Hitler, with his power, he went on capturing with his military power. What happened to him? Here is Adolf Hitler. I'm the dictator of this world, the so-called dictator, the person who claimed that he was the dictator of the entire globe. He is not remembered for his greatness. He is remembered for his negative ideas. Today we remember APJ Abdul Kalam. Today we remember Mahatma Gandhi. Today we remember Thorodar. Today we remember Swami Vivekananda. Today we remember Rabindranath Tagore. We remember those people for their actions, for their writings, for their creative ideas, because pen is powerful, more powerful than the sword. That's why many civil revolutions took place in the world with the constant influence of writing, the constant influence of writings. So I'll just give examples. During freedom struggle in India, swords and writings. During freedom struggle in India, some people selected military military power. For example, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose selected the way to achieve freedom to the Indians. So it's only military that can win over British Samraj and get freedom to our country. It was his philosophy. But some people, some writers at the time, they went on writing. They went on influencing the people with their writings. Sooner or later, the people got enlightened with the writings, with their speeches, and they revolted against British Empire in the form of non-violence, not in the form of violence. They revolted against, in the form of non-violence, and ultimately we got victory. Souls revolts taken place. You know pretty well. Many way. Sepoy Mutiny. 1857, the first freedom fight against British Samraj. It was taken by these people. It was taken So in the year 1857, the first Indian Revolution, the first Indian revolutionary movement took place. So the John C. Roney, so she took the lead and fought against the Britishers. So it started in 1857 and ended in 1947. You see this one? So in 1947, August 15th, and India got freedom, not with sword. We didn't fight with against the British people. We fought against British people not with a sword, but with word, with non-violence, with the truth, with the philosophy advocated by Mahatma Ji. So we developed that non-violent mentality by getting influenced by the writings of Mahatma Ji, by the teachings, preachings of Mahatma Ji. So writers created influence in the minds of the people against British Empire with their writings. Ultimately, India won independence with the teachings of Gandhiji's on non-violence. So it is the writing that can change the mindset of the people. In that way, we can say that pen is mightier than sword. In that way, we can say the pen is mightier than sword. So let us coming to the next one. That's a conclusion. Sword victory is temporary, as I told you already. Sword victory is temporary as Nazi's power. Nazi Adolf Hitler. So he got victory, but that's only a temporary victory. People forgot his victory. People say that his victory is not considered to be the best victory. So killing and destruction could be initiated with a sword. Killing and destruction will be initiated with sword. We don't need, in fact, the members living in this planet do not need any killing and destruction. But sword is a symbol of destruction and killing. So it is not going to create anything at all. New horizons. New horizons could be created with beautiful writings. With the help of pen, so new horizons could be created with beautiful writings. That's why pen is mightier than sword. Next, a sword can kill, but a pen can save. A sword can kill, but a pen can save the life of a person. So in that way, so the pen is mightier than sword. So the second proverb, the first proverb, time and tide wait for no one, that we discussed. We had very good explanation about that one in the part 1. In the part 2, we are going to have the two proverbs. One is, pen is mightier than sword. That's completed. Let us move on to the next proverb. So practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, this is also a wonderful proverb. The proverb emphasizes the importance of doing something again and again. Whether you have that skill can be improved only by practice. Students come to me and ask me, sir, is there any shortcut method to improve English language? Sir, tell me the shortcut method, how to become. Is there any best method to become good communicator in English? Students come to me and ask me, sir, tell me any method. How can I just become good speaker in English? So if you want to achieve anything, there may be some failures in the initial stages. Don't leave that one immediately. Once you get any failure on your way of achievement, don't stop your journey of achievement. You practice once again, practice once again, practice again and again, and success will be yours. Practice makes perfect. One cannot become perfect person just by first attempt. Even taking this video class also, any exemplary teacher cannot become successful teacher in the very first video lesson. But you can gain perfection in due course of time with your regular practice. With your regular practice. That's the reason practice makes any person perfect. Perfection is something that is gained at the end. You wish that you want to be perfect in the very beginning itself. But is it going to be so really possible? Maybe 10% chances are there. But 90% only after a regular practice that you can gain. The proverb emphasizes the importance of doing something again and again. So working on a system, when you buy a system, a Dell computer or any laptop, when you buy from a shop, when you keep that system on the table, when you don't practice anything at all on that system, how do you learn? How do you learn computers? Can you become computerite? Is it possible? It's not possible. So when you begin to practice on that, when you begin to practice on that system, maybe after some time you become a good, you may become good at computers. You can claim also. In any game, you take a game, you take any spoken English, you take any exercise, anything at all. Perfection is something that is coming at the end after several trials. Practice achieves perfection in due course of time. What is the ultimate result of practice? Ultimate result of practice is nothing but success. Success is nothing but perfection. Practice achieves perfection in due course of time. You just get involved with yourself in doing that one. These video classes are planned by the Commissioner of Collegiate Education. Some of our faculty members say that it's not welcoming, but once you practice, once you begin to practice this one, maybe in due course of time, you become perfect. You can compare to any other person. It is not you only. You just present the entire system of government sector and indicate to the society that here the faculty members working in government sector, they are really impeccable. They're really talented. They can perform. They can imbibe greater values to the students community through your video classes. It's possible. In the very beginning, everything looks very impossible. Don't say that it's impossible. Even the impossibles are achieved by the people with their continuous, constant practice only. It's an enchanting proverb, this one. Practice achieves perfection in due course of time. Everything looks difficult in the beginning. In the very beginning, it looks very difficult because you are a new person. You are alien to that one. You are alien to that one. So you think about that swimming. When you go and stand by the side of the river or a sea, come on, go, jump into the river, jump into any pond of water and swim. Because since you don't know how to swim, you develop fear. You think that it's impossible. I cannot swim. It's impossible. I can't do this one. As you go on practicing swimming, maybe after some time, you prove that you are the good swimmer. You can swim even across the river also. You can go from one end to other end by swimming. How is it possible? With your practice only. My dear friends, my dear young men and women, so doing easy, doing easy, and so you think that it's not, it's very difficult. Don't feel that. Every student, every learner can be proved as perfect person with your constant practice only. You can be an IAS officer. You can be an IPS officer. You can be a good teacher. You can be a good Samaritan in the society with your constant practice only. That's why do the things continuously, constantly, and you can gain that perfection. With the practice, everything becomes possible. With practice, everything becomes easier. That's the thing that I would like to say to you. So now, meaning and explanation. Learning by mistakes. We learn things by mistakes, by committing some mistakes. In the very initial stage, when you want to learn something, we just learn by mistakes only. Suppose uh, when you want to ride the bicycle, you just fall down to the ground many a time. But by practicing that one, maybe after some time, you learn by your mistake. You learn by your mistakes. Many a time you fall down from the bicycle, you got injuries, but you didn't keep quiet. You kept on learning how to pedal the cycle, how to pedal the cycle. In the same way, how to drive the motorcycle or how to drive any four-wheeler. So by mistakes only we learn things. You can't just say that I don't know. I want to be away from this one. You can't stay outside. And you can't just dream that you can be a perfect person in due course of time unless until you do any trials at all. So trials are very important, practices are very important, and so practice is very important. So people learn by mistakes only. People learn by knowing certain trials only. Efforts are very important. Trials are very important. Suppose mistakes are committed by you, don't worry about the mistakes, and you try to know about that one where you committed mistake, and that mistake cannot be repeated, and you can perfect yourself by covering all your mistakes, regulating all your mistakes. One becomes perfect by practice only. That's what I have been saying to you. One can become perfect by practice only. Need not get depressed. Suppose when you in the process of getting success, you get any failures. You get failures, but don't get depressed at the initial stages, because this is the initial stage. Don't get disheartened and depressed when you get failure. Failure and success are common, two sides of a coin. According to Charlotte Bronte, a famous poem written by Charlotte Bronte for UG second year students, life. Life. In life, you are going to have success and failure. When you get failure, don't get yourself depressed and disheartened. So success is awaiting. Success is awaiting. So do that one. Don't leave that activity and do it once again. Maybe within short time that you are going to get success. Practice anything with concrete willpower. You must have that willpower. Once you want to achieve anything, you need to have that strong willpower. With willpower, you can achieve perfection. Success by constant practice. Success is not luck. Most of the people in the society, especially the young men and women, they feel that success is a luck. It's not luck at all. If anyone is selected for IAS and IPS, it's not mere luck. How do you say that? It's a stupid statement if anyone says that. Just by sheer luck that one is selected for the post of IAS and for the position of IPS. It's not, it's a stupid comment. So success is not luck. It is the outcome of hard work. It's the outcome of hard work. With your constant practice of hard work, you can be getting success. It's a very wonderful one. So now, explanation with examples. Think about the Sachin Tendulkar. Some years ago, when Sachin was young boy, he used to go to that Shivaji Stadium. He used to play. So he went on doing practice about cricket. He went on playing on the ground. So according to the advice given by his guru. Later, he entered India team and he played for India for years together. He created history. He created wonderful history in cricket. And he created centuries. And he is called Little Master. He is called Master Blaster with a continuous practice only. So everybody knows about Sachin Tendulkar. Everybody knows. It's not only limited. He's not limited to Indians only. Go to America, go to England, go to Australia, go to New Zealand, go to Pakistan, go to Bangladesh, go to Sri Lanka, go any part of the world. People know about Sachin Tendulkar. He became a historic personality with his constant practice on the ground playing cricket. That is the thing. PV Sindhu, you know PV Sindhu, young badminton player, a very young badminton player of Telangana state. She becomes so champion, badminton champion with continuous practice. Just like Sachin Tendulkar in cricket, here also we see that badminton champion PV Sindhu. She is the representative of the entire women empowerment. All young girls studying in schools and colleges, they take her as model. Yeah, PV Sindhu achieved championship with her constant, continuous practice, dedicated herself to her game. In that way, she created a way of life for herself. S.P. Balasubramaniam, a renowned singer, rejected in the beginning, but became popular singer with practice. S.P. Balasubramaniam, Balu, a renowned singer today in Telugu industry, of course, in India. When he went to any recording studio, his voice was rejected in the very beginning. So he went on practicing and molding his voice. And now today, so he is a wonderful singer in Indian film industry. Like that, Amitabh Bachchan, NTR are many rejected in the beginnings, but later they became celebrities. Amitabh Bachchan, the big B, NTR senior, and many people, when they entered film industry, they were rejected by the people at that time. But they never felt offended. They felt, yeah, we would like to enter the film industry. We would like to create some history for ourselves. They went on practicing, and later they entered and they created themselves a separate history for themselves. And now they are the celebrities. Amitabh Bachchan is a great celebrity in the world. NTR, so a great celebrity in AP and Telangana in the past. Like that, many people. Some IAS officers achieved the positions with the practice only in spite of. So practice only in spite of failures. Some IAS officers, some IAS officers, they became IAS in the very first instance. When they write UPSC examinations, some are selected in the very first attempt, but some are selected in this second, third attempt. So some IAS officers, so they became IAS officers after continuous, constant practice of that one. Now conclusion. Practice makes perfect is applicable to the world of academics too. So my dear friends, I say that this proverb, practice makes perfect. It is not confined to only singers. It's not confined to only actors. It's not confined to only players. It is ubiquitous. So quotation. It's a common quotation for everyone. It is even applicable to academics also. Every student, if he or she wishes to become an IAS officer, IPS officer, wants to create any history, you can create history like that with your constant practice. An ordinary student could achieve gold medal with practice only. If you have that concrete willpower, you can gain that gold medal with your constant practice only. Sir, I got only third class marks at my SSC. I got only third division at intermediate. I got only third division in my degree. But you are studying PG now. You are in the university. When you take it to heart, when you feel at your heart that you want to achieve gold medal in PG, in MSc, MA or MCOM, when you have this strong desire in your mind, accordingly, you put all your efforts in that one, and maybe in future, you can gain that gold medal You can prove that an ordinary student also becomes, an ordinary student can also become extraordinary student with the constant practice only. So most difficult things also become possible with practice. So remember, my dear friends, most difficult things also can become possible with your constant practice. In that way, today, we have known great values from these two proverbs. Known the importance of pen is mightier than sword. The first proverb of today, the pen is mightier than sword. So become like that. Become powerful. You can become powerful with your pen, not with your sword. Know the greatness of practice makes perfect. If you practice anything, whatever you wish to become, so do it continuously. Maybe within short time, perfection is yours. So in that way, from these two important proverbs, the pen is mightier than sword. So practice makes perfect. So these two proverbs try to enhance the human values and confidence among the students. The students till then, some students, till then they feel they are not worthy enough. They can't compete with all the members. They don't have that kind of power. So after reading, after knowing the values of these two proverbs, they can also be this successful people in future. And you can also improve your personality development with these proverbs. And this is very important. I hope every one of you has understood very well about these two value-oriented proverbs. The pen is mightier than sword. Practice makes perfect. With that one, I take leave from you. And thank you very much for being with me and listen to me. And hope you understood very well. And we'll meet in third part of value orientation tomorrow in the next video class. Thank you very much.